Here we go then, welcome back. We haven't been away very long, have we? To round 3 of the 2023 MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. There is our joint championship leader and our defending Gold Star champion, Elliot Payne. On it from the start. This is the very first stage of the day. Tom Woodburn alongside, comes here tying on points for the overall title with Aaron Newby, who we will see from soon. Taking a win and a second place in that order on the first and second rounds of the championship in that Mango Go Fiesta. Burst onto the scene the year before last. And as Phil Bramhill and I were talking in the two-wheel drive stream a little earlier, on last year's Border Counties Rally, he and Perry Gardner and a few others all really kind of arrived on the scene. You just knew that the young guns were going to have a heck of a year in the BTRDA last season, and they did. BTRDA rallyresults.co.uk is where you'll get your live up-to-date results, and you can enjoy live coverage of the whole of this first stage and the sixth stage of the day here on Special Stage. As you see a pair who will be dying to get back on terms in the title hunt. They come here fourth in the point standings after 2 third places to start their season. Not exactly where they'd want to be. Matthew Hurst, Declan Deere, runners-up in last year's BTRDA Gold Star, looking to go one better, of course, this year. But as we see so often on these events in this championship, it's not easy. They're fighting against the very best in British rallying. But they're quick in that Fiesta R5. And hopefully without the punctures and the drama of the last round, which did hamper them somewhat at the Rally Nuts, a clean run will see them back on terms and evening things out in that points table. Fantastic looking car. This Rally 2 Fiesta of Dave Henderson came second place on last year's rally. Chris Lees alongside. Started his rally season with a win on tarmac in the East Riding stages and the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. And he does like this event. He's done this, as I say, last year with a podium finish, and will be, I'm sure, looking to go one better in 2023 in that dual livery, split down the middle, Rally 2 Ford Fiesta. The man tying on points, though, with Elliot Payne in that Mango Go Fiesta is Aaron Newby, with Jamie Edwards alongside. Supremely experienced and talented pair. And they're here for a full campaign in the BTRDA, having got a taste of that success at the first 2 rounds. Second place at the Malcolm Wilson Rally. First place at the Rally Nut stages last month over in Wales. And here he is looking to get some important points on the board towards that title charge. Aaron Newby, Jamie Edwards. Phil, we talked about young guns and people who've come through the progression in the various series in this country. Aaron Newby's done all sorts of things. He was known as a single venue specialist at one point, winning every single venue going. Then he switched to tarmac, and then he switched to gravel, and look how that's going for him. Do you remember when he had the cow car, the Skoda in the R2 with was it the Muller sponsorship?
Yeah, Freshman Dairy, was it? Yeah, it stopped on the hairpin, actually, on the Malcolm Wilson rally next to me. One of the first times I think I ever saw him in the car. He retired next to me on the hairpins in Combe. Yeah, but he's come a long way, hasn't he, Aaron? He can turn his hand at anything. It's great to see him back out again, competing at the highest level. Yeah,
and it's great to see a fight developing out here in the BTRDA, and a man who will be hoping he can join that fight, albeit bit of a latecomer, having done the BRC version of the Malcolm Wilson and not joined us for the Rally Nut stages, is that man there. Stephen Petch, Michael Wilkinson, 2017 BTRDA Rally Champions, looking to put 2 on that trophy. Let's see if he can do it. It'd be interesting to know if anybody is part of Stephen's service crew or knows him and knows whether or not this is a title campaign charge or a one-off outing. It'd be good to know. Hello to Mike Dent, rally car builder supremo Phil's shrugging his shoulders. It's a bit of a private joke, that, Phil. We've got a mutual friend called Dom, who is a very good presenter. Taught me everything I know, honestly. So that's Pete Rayner, another rally legend, joining us. Mark Donnelly there. Stephen O'Hanlon alongside. Hasn't been out for any of the BTRDA rounds so far this season. Joins us here at round 3 and didn't do the Border Counties rally last year either, so I haven't got really a lot to say about that based on results. Phil, anything for you?
Going well, that's all I can say. You pushed really hard up the top of the hill here just as you cut into the second camera.
It's a fast section of stage, this is. Maybe it doesn't look it on your cameras, but it's uphill. This section, climbing up to these log piles, is one heck of a climb. So they're flat out, aren't they?
Yeah, steep uphill, yeah. There's a lot of downhill towards from the start line all the way for the first sort of mile and a half, 2 miles, and then it starts to level out across the bottom of the valley, and then it climbs back up here. It was a hell of a walk up the hill here, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I'd rather be in an R5 Fiesta going up the hill here, but it'd be fun going back down.
Yeah, pushing really hard. It was going really well on this section where we are.
Let's have Ben Lawrence joining us. A young upcoming, we talked about young upcoming rally drivers. This is a young upcoming rally photographer. Love your work, Ben. Always catch us some great shots. Ian Bainbridge, Will Atkins in that Fiesta, which had a bit of a tumultuous rally nut stages, having barrel rolled that thing into the undergrowth. That was a bit of a dramatic. No one actually saw the accident to begin with. We were all talking, just thinking it had gone off the road and parked it.
Metres after us it was, yeah, 100 metres down the road from our camera spot. Then, and yeah, obviously there was 2 cars off there as well. Joe Price went off there. But this is rallying, and you know, it's great they both climbed out the car and walked away, so no problems there with that. It's nice to see them back out again, and obviously Will was competing the day after as a navigator around Anglesey as well, so yeah, getting plenty of seat time for Will.
So DNF last time out for Ian Bainbridge in that Fiesta, quite dramatically so, but it was a 6th overall finish, 5th in B14 to start the year with the Malcolm Wilson. Here's a man who is hell-bent on remodelling the rear of that Evo by the looks of it. I love to see Russ Thompson sideways in an Evo. He started to rein it in a bit on the last couple of rallies, and I'm pleased to see that he still drives it like a Mark II Escort. Russ Thompson comes here remarkably, given that he's in a B13 Evo, and you just have to consider for a moment the quite extreme differences in technology between the cars that he's fighting with and his Evo. He comes here 3rd in the standings after a remarkable 5th and 4th overall finish in that order to start the season. Came here and took 6th place overall on the leaderboard last year on the Border Counties, 1st in B13. No reason why he can't go 1 or 2, or maybe even more better on the overall. Now there's a man who we used to see again in the juniors and then in the 1400s here in the BTRDA, middle of the 2010s, around 2014, 2015, 2016, Jordan Hone. Paul Hone alongside. Last time we saw him in the BTRDA was the Malcolm Wilson Rally last year. He came 13th overall and 7th in B14. Of course, our 2016 Bronze Star champion, Jordan Hone. You may remember they won the Bronze Star in a Proton Satria, a bit like the one we saw Chris Farrell in the 2-wheel drive. Second of our Mango Go Fiestas. Charlie Payne, Patrick Walsh alongside our reigning Gold Star champion co-driver in with Charlie Payne this weekend. Charlie, our 2016 Gold Star champion. Carl Williamson clearly wanted to stay home and watch the coronation. That pair currently 8th place in the Gold Star standings. An 8th and a 12th in that order so far to start the season on the first 2 rounds. As Phil mentioned, earlier on when we were at the finish in Jedburgh last time out for the Border Counties. We had Charlie joining us. Were they preparing the second car for the Jim Clark, weren't they? You hear the popping and banging of the anti-lag system on that Escort Cosworth, which must mean it is. Listen to that. Glorious sounding Escort. The full-scale version of the car that you could win a model of. Now would be a good time to show you again what you could win. All you need to do to get your hands on this really fantastic scale model of that Escort Cosworth of Ian Joel that you just saw with its MRF Tyres livery is predict our top 3 overall on today's rally. You've got to comment on the stream, predict your top 3, and you could be taking this rally car home. We'll be sending it out to a winner. If you guess correctly, you'll go into a draw, and somebody will be winning this from rally-models.co.uk. It's a model of Ian Joel's MRF Tyres liveried Escort Cosworth, a car now synonymous with the BTRDA, and a car that we love on our coverage. Ian comes here 5th place in the standings, retired on last year's Border Counties with a gearbox issue, taken a 2nd and a 3rd in B13 respectively so far this season. Just lost out to the Eva driver there that you see, Rob Wilson, on last month's Rally Nut stages. Came 2nd in B13 in that Ravenol sponsored Mitsubishi. Equal 15th is Rob coming into this in the overall championship standings. Robert Goff sharing that position with him in that Mark II that we saw charging through the first stage in our 2-wheel drive stream just a few minutes ago. Eddie Lewis, Sean Cunniff there. They got a top 10 on last year's Border Counties. 11th overall, 7th in B14, last time out in a DNF at the opening round of the season. Just waiting for some times to come through. We haven't yet got times on the board from stage 1. Having some issues perhaps with signal at the passage control, so there's times on BTRDA rally results not coming through as quickly as we would hope, but as soon as we've got a view of what's happening there, we'll update you as soon as we can on the order of things. The 3rd stage now underway for some of our 2-wheel drive competitors. Watch Up, sponsored by SG Petch. It's a 5.2 mile blast. And competitors go from this first stage Blackburn rig, sponsored by St Boswell Mowers, to Hell's Hole. It's only a 3.4 mile stage, sponsored by autoshop.co.uk up next for our competitors, so that'll feel like a blink and you've missed it moment after this 7.24 mile blast through Blackburn rig. James Leckie, Stephen McCauley came 6th in B14 at the Rally Nut stages. 10th place overall. Strong finish for them in that Fiesta. Trevor Gamble, Phil Kenny will be looking for a better Border Counties than they had in 2022, adding themselves to the retirements list, as they did at the opening round of the season, the Malcolm Wilson Rally, but a top 10, in fact a 9th place on the Rally Nut stages in B14 from 18th on the overall leaderboard was some way to getting back on terms, but they need a finish here. You don't want to start dropping more than one score at this early part of the season. Ideally, you don't want to drop any. You certainly don't want to be dropping 2, and certainly not 3. If you want to catch up with action from the Rally Nut stages, Rally it featured as well as Cadwell Park and Anglesey as well, with the Alan Healy Memorial stages and the Ultratech SMC stages in last night's Seacon UK Rally show. It's still available to watch on the special stage, Facebook and YouTube, as well as on Sky and Freeview channel. Sporty stuff. As you see, Gary Cooper and John Riley powering their way through this first stage of the day in that pretty good looking Subaru. You see, Phil's got a good point. You see tons of Subarus on these rally entries. Where are they all now? It was a bit like we were talking about the C2R2s last time out. Where are all the C2R2s? They've all gone. Where's Perry Gardner? Where are all the C2R2s? And now where are all the Subarus? Subaru's probably rusted, actually. They do rust.
Zero car was a Subaru as well.
The Zero car was a Subaru, yeah, second Subaru, but we didn't have that on the live stream, did we, sir?
We didn't, no.
The first Subaru we're entertaining you with. Entertaining is probably a loose word at this stage in the proceedings. Whatever you're doing this morning, wherever you are, if you've got the coronation coverage on in the background, we hope you're having a wonderful day, and we hope that yes, a rally soundtrack from the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship can only add to it. Second of the very smart Hitachi SG Petch cars through. There's Steve Petch, Senior, John Richardson alongside. That's the car that Stephen Petch Jr. took to the World Rally Championship season to Rally Portugal. Ended with a bent roof, but it was going well before that. Hope to see Stephen back out flying the flag in the WRC before long. That would be good. Of course, we just saw Petch Jr. through in his Skoda Fabia. The 2017 BTRDA Rally Champion back out in the series, ready to take the fight to these young guns. The Gold Star, the Bronze Star, the Silver Star, all with points ties at the top of those leaderboards coming into this third round, showing just how close things are today. There you are, Phil, you'll be happy now. Another Subaru. Sounded like a Group A as well. It sounded good, didn't it?
Good, yeah.
Mike Motes, Gary McDonald. Down from Aberdeenshire to the borders of Scotland for this third round of the series. The sun is just going in behind the clouds, and some of those clouds in the distance look a little ominous. And we are due thunderstorms around the time of our second live stream this afternoon. Make sure you do tune in and join us at 3:20. And if you've got involved with our competition to win the scale model of Ian Joel's MRF Tyres Escort Cosworth rally car, then stay tuned afterwards when we announce the winners. Phil Bramwell says no rain. Phil Michael Fish Bramwell. You know, you're actually you're better than any of the weather presenters I can think of. So they just don't predict the weather anymore. It's always wrong. Oh look, we've got another Escort Cosworth. How good did that look? Craig McIntosh, Dave Jackson from York. 2 Escort Cosworths.
That's good going.
On the entry, that is good going. That makes for a good Saturday. A few more cars left on this four-wheel drive entry here at the third round, and then we'll be hot-footing it to our new location. Phil and I are just nerding over the coverage, watching the flame come out the back of the Escort Cosworth there. Should be Darren Martin up next with Daniel Hurst alongside. And it is. A fairly decent finish on the opening round of the season, the Malcolm Wilson Rally, 17th overall, 5th in B13 in that Smart Red Evo. Didn't join us last time out on the Rally Nuts and went around to do the Border Counties in 2022, so not much of a benchmark there. And once the results are coming through, once that issue at the passage control is sorted, you'll be able to see where people are slotting in. BTRDA rallyresults.co.uk. Keep your eyes on there because it will come back online very soon. Jonathan Lightbody, Mark Swallow come here after a 10th place finish in B13 in the top 30 overall on the Rally Nut stages in Wales. The battle for B13 is interesting as ever, Phil, but you've got to hand it to Russ Thompson. He's just getting faster and faster, isn't he? And he doesn't seem to, the car doesn't take huge leaps forward in technology, I don't think, each year. He just comes out and just finds new ways of driving it faster.
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to seeing Russ in that car now. It almost feels historic to me. We've seen it for that many years, but he knows how to pedal it, doesn't he? And he can throw it between the trees, and it's
sometimes into the trees.
On the odd occasion, it goes into the trees, yeah. But most of the time, keeps it on the road and always gets a decent result, regardless of the competition around him. He always puts in a really strong result. So yeah, still nice to see a lap.
He would love, just as we would, to see a B13 car back on top, wouldn't he? I think the last person that managed that. Would that have been Sean Gardner? David Wright, maybe? I think Sean Gardner would have been after David Wright. That was when they were Group Ends. Ian Ring, Paul Vasey through. He took a top 10 in B13. Speaking of which, on last year's Border Counties Rally. And taking a top 10 in B14 with a top 30 leaderboard position overall was Colin Minton with Bonnie Papper alongside on this year's rally. 13th in B14 last time out, 8th in B14 to start the season, and getting more used to that car with every stage mile and every rally that he does. There is Colin Minton. I always remember Brian Hall telling me last season that the first time Colin had driven that car was to scrutineering the night before the rally. And they are allegedly difficult cars to drive. They maybe don't look it from the outside, but that's because we've got some experts behind the wheel. Phil Bramwell still showing me as well. You should be a weather forecaster because they just can't get it right, mate.
Well, I'm going to go out and stick my head on the line here and say we're going to get wet this afternoon.
We're getting wet this afternoon. We're getting wet this afternoon. Right, you can join us as we get wet this afternoon. What an offer that is. And just for one last time, your last chance right now to enter this competition to win this rally-models.co.uk scale model of Ian Joel's MRF Tyres Escort Cosworth that we just saw through this first stage of the day is now. Predict your top 3 on the rally now while the stream's live. And if you get it right, where's that camera going? If you get it right, you're going to draw to win this model. Somebody will be winning this after today's rally, and that is a cool prize. I'm not even sure you're going to be able to prize it out of my hands, if I'm perfectly honest, because the internet went to meltdown when we posted that yesterday, but it is really cool, and you could win it. Join us this afternoon, 3:20 for the 6th stage back here in Blackburn Rig. Meanwhile, our competitors make their way through the rest of the stages on today's rally, and you can follow BTRDA rallyresults.co.uk. And once that issue with the passage